But I mean, they usually get to the, it'll get knocked out in the first round.
You know, every meeting, David said, hey, how do you like my Yankees?
Oh, well,
Right?
I'm not big time one way or the other, but
All right, let's call this meeting to order and begin with the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I'd ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Supervisor Hawthorne.
Here.
Councilor Anthony.
Here.
Councilor Greco.
here.
Councilor Haggerty.
Here.
Councilor Arnold is absent.
Is excused.
Highway Superintendent Moyer. And Deputy Supervisor Okanowski.
Okay, we have two
No, my son.
previous meetings that we have minutes for. Would you like to?
I'll make a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the previous meetings and to accept them as written, 9/11 and 9/25/02.
I'll second it.
Second that? Any discussion? You had a chance to look at them? I didn't notice
Got
any
a question
problems.
for Lee later, but nothing now.
All in favor of accepting them or dispensing with the reading of them? You say aye.
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 Okay. We have the a letter that the fire inspections will start next week. I believe it's on Tuesday, 15th through the November 15th. And I added probably 6 or 8 new ones to the list that I came up with. A couple of, I went through all the old zoning and planning board minutes to see what new businesses had come in the last couple of years that maybe we didn't have on the list yet. There were some of those. There's a couple that should have been on the list years ago, I presume, and somehow got missed. Johnson's Gas and
Okay.
the bus garage. So, put those on.
Been there 50 years.
Yeah, it's just, I think we've been relying on our memories or just, you know, so I did get some lists and I looked through some lists of businesses and jumped right out at me. So anyway, he will start next week.
Yeah, I got noticed. They'll be at my place.
Right. Ruth, you had a letter regarding a liquor license renewal?
Yes, from Club 48. They have applied for their new liquor license.
It's not something we have to take action on, but they're required to let us know. So I'm passing that information on. Anything on the pump station? I guess I talked to you last night, so.
The parts are in and they're looking to schedule it, so.
That's some progress.
Right.
Oh, that's big
I'm
progress.
expecting it to be within the next week.
So you've talked to Don or Jim?
I'm working with Don.
Okay, and he's got the pots and he's gonna go away with that
Yeah, so he's ready now to go down there and.
with that patch.
Right.
Okay, to get us through the winter. Wait,
Hopefully it gets.
Well, no guarantee, but hopefully that will.
Ideal, that's the case.
Our attorney sent a fairly strongly worded letter to the attorney for the school district saying, you know, we're having a lot of problems with this pump and it's very precarious and please get back to us as soon as you can. So. Last regular meeting, we discussed doing a study of, I told you that I had the petition from State Route 3, the businesses along there, and we discussed doing a study of the entire area, that stretch plus the stretch to Granby Center and also the stretch to Hannibal Street section. This is just a study, but we need to do a resolution and have it published in the paper, and it's subject to permissive referendum. So we decided we did want to do that. Who wants to, any of you want to do the resolution? That gets it started. the process started so that we could order the engineer to do a feasibility study.
This is first part here.
The whole thing.
Be resolved that the town board of the town of Granby does hereby agree to appropriate the sum of $10,000 for the preparation of a map, plan, and report for water district running along both sides of the roadway as follows. Phase 1, Hannibal Street from Fulton City Line westerly to intersection with State Route 3. Phase 2, State Route 3 from Fulton City Line westerly to intersection with Hannibal Street, County Route 3 to include Day Road. Phase 3, County Route 3 from the intersection with State Route 3 westerly to the intersection with County Route 8. These shall be separate costs for the 3 phases, and development of a water district for one area shall not be dependent on development of another. This resolution shall be subject to a permissive referendum.
Okay, a couple things I want to clarify, that we had to put a number in there, so we shot high because you just don't know. That's a fairly large area, 3-part section, so it's really complex.
There are 3 separate things.
Well, separate, done together, but they can be separated out. They wouldn't, but it's a 3.
You've got the petition from State Route 3, right? How about 3 and Hannibal Street? Do the people have a petition there?
There's
too?
one still being circulated, but we don't really need those to proceed with this. But this is just to do the study. As I started to say, it's we talked about how much money to put in. We already had budgeted $10,000, so it's not going to change our financial status if it does end up that much. It's more likely, I would guess, 6,000 or 7,000. I have no idea really, but we're hoping that this would be enough, because if it's not enough, then we're back to square one, starting over. So that's why that amount is in there. It doesn't bind us to spending $10,000. It's just if the engineer does it and comes up with $9,400, we're covered. And permissive referendum means that, first of all, Ruth will publish this in the paper, and then we have to wait 30 days and see if anyone comes forward with a petition that says, no, don't even study it. We don't even want you to do that. We don't want you to spend the town's money on a study. So that's how that goes.
Okay, I have 2 questions. Number 1, you've got 3 sections, broke down to 3 sections. I'll go back, I'm going to pick an arbitrary number, it could be 5, could be 6 years. We had also 11th Street involved with those apartments. That was to make like a triangle at the time when the former supervisor was here. And I'm going back at least 5 years, if not a little more. And I don't know if that was what they're going to do.
Well, we didn't put that on there because they are on a good line.
Good line.
They would not, well, they should be made into a legal district, but I don't think that they should have to pay for the new line that runs up Hannibal Street,
Well,
because
we
they've
did
already
it-
got good water.
We did it twice already.
I know, we're trying
Where is
again.
all that paperwork?
We're going to dig that out and give it to the engineers, and hopefully that'll help.
I mean, we paid for
expedite
it
things.
twice already, and
One second. But that was my next question is, I think some of that data that we have from those things you just said would be pertinent for what's...
It would, but it definitely has to be updated, and
Oh, yeah.
it's
But it
no
would
good
cut the
legally
costs, I think, a little
because it was shut down before,
it
so.
would help us out if
Sure.
we had the old papers.
Absolutely. And I will find everything that is in the room, in
It should make the
the building,
cost a little less anyway.
to hopefully make the cost a little bit less.
I'll give you a second on it, because I know he had one.
Well, I think,
That we can't really make any decisions unless we have a study and know what we're talking about, how much it would cost. I mean, maybe these people that gave us a petition will say, that cost too much money.
how do you know the people on County Route 3 want
We
it?
don't yet,
Okay.
but this will give them, if they know the cost of it, they'll have a better idea whether they do or don't.
Okay, you're going
Okay.
to give them a choice. When this is all done, they'll have a choice, right?
I'm not sure how that will work, but they'll know how much it is.
If people living on County Route 3 don't have a choice whether they want water or don't want water?
If we go with a district in that area, then they're part of the district. Okay, any questions? Gonna call the roll, Ruth?
Counselor Anthony?
I want water on State Route 3, yes. But,
When do you want to do the study?
yes, we'll do the study.
Okay.
And when that comes up, I want the people to have a choice.
That's why they got it in 3 sections.
Okay, okay.
Counselor Greco?
Yes.
Supervisor Hawthorne?
Yes.
Counselor Haggerty?
Yes. We've already made it all clear to go into the archives and get that study. It was done about 5 years ago.
Well, I have to live on County Route 3, and I don't want to hear if they don't want it.
Well, while we're still on it, you know somebody has a petition for County Route 3. We didn't get that back. We've only got the one for State Route 3.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
If they wanted
Well,
that.
this doesn't-
It might only just be that group right there, and it could be the end of it.
Okay.
We did vote on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will proceed, she will publish it in the paper, and then we wait the necessary period of time, and then we hire the engineer.
Which would be the
Barton will do this,
Yeah.
probably.
B&G.
Okay. Ruth, officially, it's up to you to present the tentative budget.
I have in my hands the tentative budget for the year 2003 for the town of Granby, and I present it to the board.
Okay.
All right.
You all have copies of it
Yes.
already. And we will start working on it. I used a very sharp pencil. It looks like a no increase in tax budget, or probably hold the line. This is what we've been trying to do in recent years, so. And I say that not a guess. I have done the math. So we will start working on that tonight, hopefully. Okay. I think we should tonight set the date for the public hearing, which I thought probably we would do it on the 6th of November. It should be done by the Thursday after Election Day. It only leaves the 6th and the 7th.
So when's the election day? Is the 5th?
Yes.
Oh, we can't do it on the regular November 13th meeting? I just asked.
Probably could, but technically we're supposed to do it the week before.
A week before. So that means you gotta do it on the 6th then? Is that it? No, you gotta do it on the
6th.
6th, right.
Is that all right with Arnold?
Has to be, yes.
Okay. Do you want to
7 o'clock, November.
make a motion that we have it on the...
Oh, I'll make a motion, we have it on November the 6th, 7 o'clock.
Okay, second to that?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Ruth will advertise that, but she cannot advertise that until we have some work sessions and establish the salaries of the certain elected officials.
Yeah, oh, okay.
But she will be sure to advertise it in time.
Okay.
We have a junkyard application. License application from
Woodworth's.
Woodworth.
Fulton Auto Salvage
Okay.
has supplied. They were a little bit late with their application. They generally are. And it has been approved by the constable.
Oh, okay. I knew we'd gone out and looked at it today. This one we do have to vote on, renewing that license.
I'll make a motion, we accept Woodward's license on Honey Hill Road.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion on that one? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's carried.
Been there for years, he's been there for years.
That's all.
I had an interesting request yesterday from a lady who was interested in purchasing a piece of property on Lounsbury Drive. Wondered about the water. She knew that the water line was very close. Well, I checked out the tax map of the property, and this property backs right up to Wild Winds Drive. And the water line goes right down the edge of it, probably on the back side of this property.
All right.
However, she's not currently in the district because the district doesn't cover that particular. That only goes in about 500 or 700 feet, I think, from 48. 700 feet, I guess. So I did talk to our attorney. He said it really would not be a difficult thing to expand the district to include that property, which she is adjacent, immediately adjacent to the existing district, and would just be expanding the boundaries out to include her so that she could be a legal part of the district, would not involve any additional water line.
That's the
there's no-
district on 48?
Yeah.
You have Mr. Phillips right here
Well, I know.
complaining about it.
There would be no additional cost other than
Well,
perhaps
she
the
would-
legal cost. She would have the cost of
She would burden the cost of
Oh,
looking after her
But
property.
that's always the
But wouldn't she have
homeowner's
to, don't we have in place, trying to rack my BB grant, where she'd have to pay some of this cost that's been contributed over the years?
No,
She's
it is
saying
not
no.
part of, I've checked the district, I've
She's
checked.
saying otherwise over there.
Wouldn't she have to, at least this, the last payment?
The last payment's been made.
Oh, I'll see
You're
that.
home free now.
I'm home free. I didn't think it was
So,
ever
but
gonna
no, you
end.
can't go back. It's not written in any such way that you can go back and recoup from people coming on from now on to pay for the original line.
Unless it's another extension or something.
Yeah, or improvements or repairs or that sort of thing. I mean, she would be paying taxes, and she'll be paying, of course, the city water bill.
But she has to pay for everything to attach to that line.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And however they,
So, do you see any problem with this? Sounds like just a legal,
A legal
Type
thing, yeah,
thing.
I just thought there'd be some type of a fee to tap into an existing line because.
it was none
of all the other
established
things,
that I know of.
Well,
I
It'd
read
be like a new
I
house
read the
being
original
built along the
contract a
line
couple
or something.
times, and I don't recall anything.
Is there anything where Mr. Phillips could come in and start
There
complaining?
will be a public hearing, yes.
Well, I mean, we just got rid of them, now you're
I
going
know,
to bring
well-
them back again.
Well, we have to deal with it. There would be a resolution, then there would be a public hearing, and then we would, you know,
Okay, that's all well and
do
fine.
the
I don't-
simplest.
Yeah, Well, but just to be the devil's advocate, so we gotta have a resolution and a public hearing.
we're not going to do the resolution tonight.
Okay, but if all these people that are on the line complain, then what happens? We don't.
Why would
Yeah,
they
but
complain?
when they put new
Because-
houses in on 48, they have, since that line's gone through, they've added a couple new places up through
Yeah, they
there.
added that.
And they just tapped into the line for water. So that's basically what this lady wants to do.
Except in those cases, you actually had to extend the line, I think, a little bit.
Well,
No, I'm talking up.
Oh.
There was I'm
Right.
wondering how I can't.
It's really to their advantage
Yeah.
because now instead of 77 people sharing the, whatever cost there might be, if there's a
Yeah.
repair, there's 78 homes sharing the cost.
Okay.
There's an annual cost to Onondaga County, it's a very small amount, but it's split among the units. So that there's really no disadvantage to the existing people.
okay.
So, well, we'll proceed and see what we come up with on that. Seems like a win-win situation.
For her anyways, she just gotta pay the, it's gonna cost a couple thousand probably, but whatever.
Well, it's either that or she has to put in a new well or a new septic system or, you know,
Yeah.
and she would prefer to have public water anyway, so. Don't have a county legislator here tonight. Dog control officer, I have a report, 34 complaints, 5 dogs picked up, 8 dogs released, 4 dogs on hand. Some monthly expenses of $55, $5.87 for supplies, $4 for ads. Multi-mileage is 339 miles. Impoundment fees is $20, adoption fees is $30. That's from Gail Keelan, our dog control officer. I haven't heard too much from the assessors lately. We're starting to get applications in for the STAR for next year. I know there was one hearing that the hearing officer found in favor of the taxpayer, so that's being adjusted. It was $20,000 difference, I think. And we are sending one of the vouchers tonight with a $25 fee that we have to reimburse.
And we get the seniors have until March the 1st, is it?
Historian had a very nice event here last night in honor of Archives Week, and had probably about a dozen people. And so it was very nice. We had several items put out from the archives, and refreshments, and visited. And so we thank her for doing that, and I think she did a very nice job. Planning board, I don't know anything in particular. Zoning board?
Yes, we have a meeting scheduled for the 22nd. We do have one application for variance. That's Jeffrey Prairie will be looking to install a septic system ordered by the sewer company.
All right. Nothing going on right now with youth. Highway superintendent.
Is she going to come up with a winter program, you know?
Report for September. Guys have been cutting some trees and continue cutting brush around signs, as I reported last month. We had a maple limb come down in Lewis Cemetery, and they took care of that. Been doing some sign repair and inspections, and a lot of our zoning that have the winter parking restriction notices on them have faded to the point where they're illegible, and we went through and replaced those that needed it. Did a driveway apron on Germandale. Doing some drainage work on High Banks, Bingham, Phillips, and Honey Hill roads. We resurfaced Rathburn Road with oil and stone. Finally got this parking lot out back done, did the grading work and paved that. And we also paved that little section of Hoffman Drive that runs beside the building at the same time we have the equipment here. We started hauling sand for winter use. We'll get in somewhere in excess of 5,000 yards for this winter. A little change on our salt this year. We have always historically bought our salt from Oswego County. Last year, the Oswego County bid was $31.69, which is quite an increase from the year before. This year, the county and the towns have all gone to the state bid. So this year, the price is going to be $23.70 a ton, which is almost $8 a ton less. I think probably part of the cost difference, though, is because a lot of people didn't use as much salt last winter, so the mines had a lot of stockpiles, so they're, supply and demand works. And also, we replaced some guide rail on Lakeshore, Honey Hill, and Rathburn roads. This was rail that was pre-existing, but it was in really bad shape. So we went and took care of that. So
We're going to truck the salt in ourselves like we do the sand, or no?
they truck it in as part of the contract. And it's probably going to start trucking in next week.
The county did a nice job on my bridge.
Very nice job.
Very nice job.
I want to thank them. They did a nice job on that.
They did. It's beautiful. And it is Rosie's
Took
Bridge.
4 years.
We're up doing 55 now, they're paving that, and that's going to be good to get that done.
4 years I've been after that, and it's so wide.
Tell me about it.
It's nice, isn't it?
I couldn't believe it.
It was worth 4 years. Even Pooch's cows are enjoying it.
I've been asked to tell you, Rosie, that was Ray's nephew that was in charge of that bridge project.
Very nice, Ray. What's his name stopped to see me and talked, Kasparek? He has something to do with it. I guess he works on engineering of highways?
Krasick.
Because, what's his name?
Krasick.
Jim
Right, yeah,
Rosick, though.
yes,
Oh, Jim Krasick?
yeah.
Oh,
I had a long talk with him, Krasick, well, Kasparek, whatever. It's nice. That's my last project that I'm gonna fight for, except for the budget. I'll be fighting for the budget.
Okay, code enforcement, I They still do not have their program up and running, and they're still looking at that other program that I talked to you about before. He did get a list of references. He has not, I said, be sure you talk to him, don't just look at the list.
Right.
There's one of them was in town of Webb, which is Old Forge.
Oh, Webb, that Webb, I was thinking of going the other way, Rochester. Oh, that's Webster that way.
There are a fair-sized list of towns and municipalities in New York State, so
I
he has
think
the phone numbers.
I think in our minutes we mentioned Rome too. Did they have-
Well, he said that. I didn't see that on the list, but they were various size, and he even told how large the towns were so that you can find some that are similar. You talked to him last night also.
Yes, I did.
So he's still pursuing that program. And people are still coming in and getting building permits on a regular basis.
Do you think the way the county's gone that we'll have funds for the youth program next year? Do you think they'll cut some of that money off to the youth program?
No, because the county doesn't give that to us, the state does.
Or the state?
It
It doesn't go
comes
to
through the county, but it's a grant from the state. It's the state's money and our money. We match it. So, most of my time I've been spending on the budget. I also went to a budget workshop put on by Department of Audit Control. I've been to several of those with this. You always learn something new, so it was worth going to. Town clerk?
I attended the conference in Lake Placid, and I also attended a teleconference last week in Mexico, and I found them both to be helpful. Like you say, I learned something, and I was glad to be able to go. I took my deputy to the one in Mexico,
Good.
and she appreciated that.
I'd also ask you to note in the minutes that I have provided the financial reports to each board member, and the accounts are just where they should be at this time. And, board members have any reports on your liaison activities? Okay.
Highway superintendent went to school for about a week. He forgot to mention it. Or 4 days or whatever it was, to get more smarts.
Okay. There's two motions here regarding the payment of bills. The abstract, the regular abstract, and then I separated from the regular abstract a payment, it happens to be one payment to the engineer that will be paid out of the Royce Developer escrow funds. This is part of the local law that we passed about 2 years ago. And his money is in escrow, and I want to keep a separate record, carefully keep a separate record of the outgo from that fund. So I would ask you, you have looked at those vouchers, and I would ask you for these motions.
Go ahead, Rick. I have gone over all of them, but
Make a motion to approve the payment of town bills as audited for abstract 10A-02 in the amounts of $4,819.13 from general fund, $31,832.31 from highway fund, and $82.81 from Willabog Light fund. Also make a motion to approve the payment of expenses to be paid from the Royce Developer escrow fund, claim number 1, in the amount of $453.
Okay. Second to that motion. We combined it into one motion, that's fine.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. I haven't heard back from Dave. I sent him a couple of emails, but tentatively, you go okay for a budget workshop next Wednesday?
I think Dave was at the work session when we made these dates, didn't he?
Not the next Wednesday one. We were going to have a meeting tomorrow night.
Oh, right. So, all right.
Next week.
Yeah, we got the 16th.
So I think next week, and then we'll finish it
23rd.
up on the 23rd.
Right, okay.
So those are your next meetings. Public comment.
Good evening. Jim Best, 60 Best Drive, Fulton, New York. I don't know, does anybody been informed there's a light out on the street of Route 8 and State Route 3?
I just was informed of that last week, and I sent the order into Niagara Mohawk. We have a special form for that.
Okay, it's been out since August.
Well, no one told me until I saw
Well, I
one of the
understand
firemen.
that. I understand that. I presume there's people, that work for the town that would be observing the roads.
Yeah, no one had noticed it.
Anyway, that's one. I have here a consideration for potential water development on Route 48 north from the town of Nettle town line and to the existing line that would be the extension off in River Water District north on Route 48 that goes out to Honey Hill Road. There's 30 property owners on here documented on the road. The effort was put together and started last fall, almost a year ago. The information doesn't really make for a legitimate petition because of some reason. The heading isn't set right. I had nothing to do with that. I'm just delivering it. But it's of interest because of the fact that the number of properties that are there are greater than 50% of the assessment in the area. If you're doing something along a water district development plan for the town, this leaves you a lot of opportunities to investigate options. You would have the Metropolitan Water District to work with, to tie into. You'd have the City of Fulton to tie into. You have some other things to look at. But basically, I'd like to submit to the town clerk as a point of information. It should be part of a greater study. I would think that at this time and place that the town board be looking at supporting the comprehensive plan with some development where they don't have development of water now. You have about, I would say 60, 70 different units that are living off in a single supply coming into their housing area. That gives difficulty once in a while, and sooner or later the health department's going to say they want to do something about it anyway. So it's going to happen. But anyway, that being said, this includes everything on Route 48 to that point I'm talking about, which would be to the Old State Road, I guess. That's the Old State Road down there, right over the bridge. And I'm going to leave that for your information. If it's needed to be formalized in a better way or something to get your interest, we'll do that. Like I said, I didn't have an original involvement with it. I'm just delivering it, but it's part of a need in today's times. And every time I see where there's an extension of a water district, the people who are responsible for it talk about the benefit in terms of growth, relief of people's needs, and worries about quality water, and also fire protection. And that's one of them. You have an extension off of Route 48 north now that goes up to the old, at the end of the Old State Road there, which is a combination of 2-inch line, 1-inch line.
Disaster.
And it's really incompetent for fire protection, other than the fact that the fire department can reach the hydrant right at 48 and Honey Hill. But anyway, that's for your...
I'm very happy to see that because we knew it was coming and wanted to see it. I've talked to a number of people up that way, and one of the gentlemen who signed it, he said, I signed it about a year ago, and I said, well, I haven't seen it yet. But like you say, it's perhaps doesn't meet the legal requirements, but it still gives us an indication of the interest that may be present there, and I think we need to look it over and compare it with how many properties are up there, and so forth, and
We have to plan another study for down there then.
Well, yeah, because like you
yeah,
said,
let's look it over first, but that would be the next step. We can, on our own initiative, like we did tonight, order a study. But,
Well, the other thing, if I can just bring that, the only thing is, as you look at it and so on, if you're gonna do a study, you have the opportunity to take it. I guess look at the broader picture and involve yourself in a more comprehensive thought about how you want to do it, and cutting the cost down on the total thing.
But I do think that, well, this would be a separate study. We've already passed a resolution on the other one, and, there's only so much you can kind of juggle at one time, but it is part of our comprehensive thinking. I know I have it on my list. I have folders for each area, which has in any way indicated to me they would like additional water, and we're kind of working on. But this gives us a very tangible show of people, because I had heard one person up there say they'd like water, but I wasn't sure that the neighbors also wanted water, so this is a good indication. We'll look that over and talk about it some more, and it was my understanding that the most likely scenario would be that we come down from Minetto.
because they got the line ending right at the town
The water
line.
goes right to that town
That's
line.
metropolitan water.
Can I interject just a thought for you? I spent some time in Metropolitan Water just recently. Things have changed a little bit, and but whatever you do, there's going to have to be a tower. And if there's going to have to be a tower, that's an expense that may not be part of Metropolitan's cost. But now, if you have a tap, it was done in 1970, whenever they put the line through. Down on the town line, it's already there for you. But you have to move it from there. So it would behoove the review with the City of Fulton what their thoughts are, and
Oh, yeah, keep all the options open.
You need to take into a broader thing. Just, I mean, you got to put a tower up, so you got to have a big enough tower to handle everybody.
And you gotta get a lot of people involved, 'cause you got a big expense there.
So you're big boys and girls. You have to get it done.
Well, we certainly will look into it and do some more
You gotta put a tower up, it's serious one.
thinking about what the cost would be and so forth. Adding a tower certainly is considerable to the expense, but it certainly may be very much worthwhile for those people and that live in that area. So we'll see what we can do with it. I think I'm real pleased to see it.
Nancy,
Right.
Yes?
I'd like to request that the streetlight be placed at the corner of Jones Drive and Route 48. I mean, most of the intersections up through there, in fact, I think all of them have lights. At one time, there was very few people on that road, but now there's several new homes up through there and a lot of traffic in and out of there, and it's blind coming both ways because of the hills. And it's a dark intersection there.
Okay.
I think it'd be a good idea.
I'm trying to remember, I have the form, or the instructions, and you will have to get a petition. It's not necessarily a lot of people, it's the people in the affected area
For the light shine.
where the light would be shedding.
Yeah, on Lake Shore Road.
Good project for the weekend, it'll be fun.
But that is, I think, the first step.
I think it's one of the few intersections around that don't have a light in it.
Yeah. We did it down here at the end of Lake Shore Road, you know. The petition, we had two petitions. The one that really counted was the people living in the area where the light would.
Sometimes you get it first. I don't want the light shining in my bedroom window.
Right, not everyone wants, I wouldn't want one in front of my house, but, you know.
I wouldn't want one in front of my house.
I got a gas station shining in my apartment.
So,
But you ain't got that many people, you just gotta cross the road right there. You only got a dozen. If
There's about 3 houses there probably.
Why would a light bother you in your house? I love that gas station light next door to me. I don't have to turn my
bright
lights
lights at
on.
night, I think there's a beauty to
It's dark down where I am.
darkness.
Why would you complain about a light in your house?
Hey,
Crossroad meeting from the church, they're all shining light in the
I
night.
need to have some
I
sunshine.
got a yard light, I get a reflection, it don't bother me.
It's called Pull the Blinds.
different people have different feelings about it, and, but that would be the process. I can give you the information, if you wish. It probably wouldn't take much, because it probably only, I don't know how many people you'd have to sign.
Wait, no,
No, only
just
the
the corner.
ones
That little white
on the
house,
corner.
you got Lil's old store and the people right across the road. You got about 4 houses.
4 houses.
Just the ones right on the 4
Little
corners,
old store,
basically.
the other little thing, and across the street.
So,
I don't really think the intent was to take, when we did that back in 70, 71, we created the townwide lighting district. It wasn't to take and just accommodate the 50 people on the corner. It was for the safety and the visibility of the intersection. That's what.
no, that's true.
Yeah, but you have to do the
The
petition
people
for
who
them
can sign, they're very,
Whether they'll-
the law lays out who can sign the petition.
Well, that's what the general
So-
town petition.
You should get the other people down the
Yeah,
road.
if you want to get the other people, that's fine. I mean, that
If you
tells
want
us
it.
that maybe it's worth our spending the money for another street light. But if you get the people you have to have, then we proceed with it. So,
When are you leaving, Ray?
Another week, I think.
Another week? Oh, okay. I thought maybe you left after Halloween or something.
It's not gonna snow till February.
It's not gonna
I
snow at all.
like your prediction.
And so,
okay, anything else on public comment? Okay. I would like to spend a little bit of time on the budget tonight, so I think we'll take a brief recess and then sit down and go through some of the items that are pretty much routine items. We could get through some of the special districts and the revenues and so forth. I don't want to get into anything
Controversial one.
controversial until Dave gets back.
Right.
So, but let's spend a little while on it.
We're going to the other...
In the other room, I think.
We're gonna talk, maybe we
It still will be open meeting. We will not adjourn this meeting until after the end of the work session.